All right, I gotta have a quick look. Original. Wow, look at the difference. Hi, I'm Mike. Welcome to my Waffle Square, where I obsess about things and you get to benefit from it. So in episode 16 of our ongoing series where we are refurbishing this 2006 Land Rover LR3 with the V8 petrol engine, we are going to be comparing the old standard lights with brand new LED lights provided by AUXBEAM. We are going to be doing side-by-side comparisons of the headlamps, the fog lamps, the brake lights, tail lights, and all of the interior lights. So let's get started.
Obsession.
Brought to you by Waffle Square.
Now, I'm not paid nor sponsored by AUXBEAM. They simply reached out to me, said they loved what we were doing with our LR3 build, and invited me to go on their website, which I found to be really easy to navigate. I'll leave a link for it. I put in the year, make, model of the vehicle. It brought the entire list of all the bulbs they had available for it, and I picked the ones that I thought would be the most interesting to our viewers. And then free of charge, AUXBEAM sent me those bulbs for my independent review, along with a really nice dry fit t-shirt for Aspen and I to wear during the making of this video. So let's head inside. Let's unpackage all of the bulbs and take a look at what they consist of. Then we're going to come out here. I'm going to show you how to replace every single bulb that we are reviewing. And we're going to wait for nightfall and do a side-by-side comparison. And I know you're going to love that, so please stay tuned. If you find this video helpful at any point, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Let's get started.
So after putting our LR3 into their website, these were the light bulbs that I requested and that AUXBEAM sent for our review. So we've got the headlamps, we've got the fog lamps in the front. These are going to be amber, rear brake lights, and then two different sizes of interior lights. You've got these really tiny ones, and then your more standard kind of barrel lights that go in half twist or so and lock into place. Now, these are for like dome map, license plate, glove box, and then these are apparently up on top somewhere as well. So we'll find out which ones go where. Now, these amber ones should look familiar if you watched our episode where we changed out our broken fog light housing. So we're going to see how these amber ones do. They're supposed to be better if you're driving through dusty areas at not illuminating the dust as much, but giving you that amber light that helps you get through dusty roads. All right, let us see what comes inside this big box. Okay, pretty fancy packaging for these light bulbs. Now you may think these are just what you see on the surface here. These cool looking like Black Panther figurines. But it's not just this lamp. It's also this whole setup. So let's go over the components real quick if I show you on the manual. So you've got on the light bulb itself, you have the heat sink, and then there's an actual fan in here. Can you see those blades moving? So there's a cooling fan as well. Over here, this is called the driver. So this must be taking the electricity that's coming into the headlamp and converting it for the purposes of LED lighting. Now, this fan might on the surface make you kind of uncomfortable, like, hey, is this thing gonna like overheat and shut off when I'm driving down the highway? Well, it's actually rated for minus 45 degrees Celsius to 150 degrees Celsius, which is minus 49 to 302 degrees Fahrenheit. So I think it's going to be able to handle anything most people can put it through. All right, we are looking at the back side of our passenger headlight. And in our previous video, I polished both of the lenses on the driver and passenger side lights, so we already have them out and ready to go to change out the headlamp. Now, in that video, I went step by step on how to remove them, so I'm not going to go too much into detail, but basically, as a recap, you remove the grill. Then there is this metal slot right here that you pull up on, so these holes release. Same thing right over here. And once you pull both of those tabs up and get these circles right into place, you can remove the light, pull it out towards you, and then remove this big plug that works all of this stuff. Now, you're going to be tempted when you start this process to go right for this big cap right here, but that's actually the high beam. That is not the one we're changing out. As you can see in this picture, it's a totally different setup in there with a big plug and this whole circuit board underneath this weather sealed piece here goes to it. So instead, let's reposition the camera over here where we're going to be working. First thing we want to do is twist off this cap here. So you twist it to the left for lefty-loosey and it comes out. There is an O-ring right here that I'm going to lubricate because you know here in our desert climate we've had a lot of problems with O-rings getting dried out and cracked. Now it looks pretty dark down there, so I'm going to remove this cap and place one of my work lights in here. And in the interest of being as detailed as possible, I've taken the time to already go through this procedure and document it with this macro lens that has a light on the front, so I can really get in there and try to show you each step of this process. So the first thing we want to do is remove this plug, and I've found that a pair of needle nose pliers does a great job of that. Wiggle it back and forth, and that comes off. And this is where the new light is going to plug into with this braided cable. We'll set that out of the way for now. So the existing bulb is held in under spring tension by this existing wire. We just want to go in there with our needle nose pliers, release that like you see, rotate it up and out of the way. Then we'll just head in there with our needle nose pliers and remove that existing light bulb. Now it would be really difficult to set the lamp in here with this big heat sink and fan on the back and try to get that spring back into place. So instead it just twists off like this, and we're going to put that right in here. You can see the groove just like that. Then we rotate the spring clamp right back into place and clamp it back into place with our needle nose pliers. The manual says that proper installation is for this side and this side of the lamp to be at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Now, I've noticed that that's basically right where this slides in. So we're going to have to turn it one way or the other, unfortunately. But the manual does say, as you can see here, that 0 to 5% rotation out of 3 and 9 o'clock is okay. But before we put this into place, we are going to be using these double-sided adhesive pads that come with the kit right on the back here, and then right over here on the side you can see in this picture is the spot I've selected where we are going to affix the driver. So to get good adhesion, I'm going to take some of this rubbing alcohol, and I snuck one of these makeup removal pads out of the wife's drawer. So let's wipe down the back of the driver, and we'll also wipe down that nice rectangular spot. Good, now I'm going to peel off one side and stick it to the driver. And that'll make it easier later as we're running out of space with all this stuff being in here. Okay, on the top and the bottom of the light are 2 tabs, and they correspond with the slot right in that little piece that we just installed. So I'm going to insert that down into position, and with our lamp it's kind of rubbing right against here, but if you get this turned just a little bit, you can get through this notch, and it does go in, boom, all the way. And then I'm going to turn it counterclockwise a bit, and that should lock it into place. Alright, I have fished out the plug, and as you can see, there is a white and red line here for the positive and then the black for the negative. There is also right on this plug a plus and a minus, so let's turn it just like that so that our plus is with the plus side. Put that right into place. Now that is a good strong connection there. I think these little holes here have corresponding tabs in there because I can feel it and hear it click audibly, which is pretty cool. Alright, so if this guy's going to need to go in here, I would think we can zip tie this guy maybe just like this with the included zip tie. Now I'm going to peel off the other side of this backing, slide it in here, and seat it right against this wall. Just like that. I really wish there was a slot or something in here where we could have put another zip tie through and across and clamped all this down. That would have made me feel better, but that's not the case, so that's alright. We'll just fish that all back in there, make sure nothing's getting into that little area where the fan goes. I think that looks good. And then I am going to take off this O-ring and go lubricate it, and we'll put that back on. It does seem remarkable how much bulk and complexity is involved with this LED light compared to the standard incandescent though. Makes me really curious if the payoff is worth it.
So you know, once I had the headlights and the grille taken out, I had to go through and wash and wipe everything down to make it clean again. All right, in we go with the passenger side headlight. I'm going to click the plug into place, and then I'm going to set it right in these two pegs right here. And on this side, easy once you got them lined up. Push down. Good. Now I'm just going to set the grill in temporarily because a couple of our viewers were spot on about who made this grill and where I could get these broken retainer clips. I ordered them from the UK and they're in the mail. Next, let's change out the fog lamp to our LED amber lamp. And there are 3 T15 screws holding it in place. Quarter turn and it comes out. Then we have this clip right here for the wiring. And out we come. And this slot in the wiring corresponds with the plug in the lamp, so there's only one way for it to go back in. You hear that nice click. There we go. Next, let's change out the brake lights. And we're going to do it on the driver's side instead of the passenger so that when you're watching the comparisons, it'll always be AUXBEAM on your left and the originals on your right. So we've got a Phillips screw right here and a Phillips head screw down here, and both of them look pretty worn out. So you can tell people have been in here. Now there are 2 metal pegs that go into like rubber receivers right over here. I'm going to pry them back with a plastic pry tool so we're not scratching the paint. There's 1 and 2. That was easy. All right. Here are all the bulbs. And there's a bunch. So we're going to change out these top 2. Quarter turn, out it comes. Out with the old. And in with the new. Man, that is fancy looking. Well, while we're back here working on the brake light, let's also change the map light out. So this little spot with the notch is where you want to get your tool in and pry down. We're wanting to push it this way to overcome a spring over here. Here we go. Good. Let's see what we got in here. We got to twist this guy right here. There we go. And that's one of the flat ones. And here's the red wire coming in, so I'm assuming that's going to be the positive side. There we go. Good. All right, right here we have our 3 overhead lights. This center one, it corresponds with the doors as well. So let's turn all 3 of those off so they don't get hot. Now we should be able to reach towards the front and just push back this way while pulling down. Yep, comes right out. All right. Now we'll give a little twist there. It's about a half twist. And I can see already these are going to be these push-in bulbs right here. So we'll pull that one out and put this one in. That is easy. All right, I gotta have a quick look. So, original. Wow, look at the difference. It's like 5,000 to 6,000 Kelvin there, super warm there. Ooh, I'm excited. All right. Same with the center one. All right, and let's wait to do the third one so that we can make this part of the comparison. What a difference. All right, let's get our bearings. This is the back hatch, and right inside the back trunk compartment is this overhead light. So it looks as though the bulb is over this side. So whatever side the bulb is on, you want to pry from the opposite side. There we go. Nice. Okay. Now this is also one of the flat ones. There we go. Easy. Now here's the very back sunroof. That's forward. Here's the side window. And here's a little side light. Oh, that comes out real easy. Same thing, this is one of the flat ones. Well, these actually have a plus and a minus on them. I've just been getting lucky this whole time. All right. There we go. Right underneath the door where you see that light shining is another lamp for when you open the door to exit, it lights your way where your feet are going. So that's really cool. Let's change that one out. This one I can just get with my fingernail. Easy. Another flat one. And right down below each of the front seats is another light. Right here. Can I just get it with my finger? Nope. There we go. Oh, this one's not plugged in. All right, let me see if I can find that plug. So I'm getting ready to do the nighttime comparison, and these lights aren't working. Well, come to find out, the ones I was sent are a single dot there at the bottom, but the two main brake lights are double dots on the back. So these aren't the right lights for that. We're gonna have to switch over to backup light and something down here and test those instead. So I tried this light in the blinker, and you can see it's blinking properly at the proper speed, but if we go up, the car's not happy with it because it's blinking at double speed, which is basically like an error, because the other side with the normal bulb doesn't do that. All right, let's check the headlights. Now, the lights on the website said that the ones we changed were not the high beams, but were the low beams, the normal beams. But if you remember, we changed these. So I was trusting AUXBEAM's website, but I was wrong. These are the normal headlights. What they sent us were the high beams. So let's do a comparison of those. We'll go to high beam. See the blue light come on. And yeah, tremendous difference. Very bright, white, beautiful light, as opposed to the standard bulb, which is very kind of golden warm colored compared to the regular headlamp. All right, one more we should check are the fog lights. So you have to have the light turned on at least one click, then you can pull out for fog lights. And there's your standard light, nice, bright, and white. And here is their amber light. I hope that color shines through. It is really pretty. All right, well, sadly, the rear tail lights are a total bust. Those lamps don't work properly on anything, but there is no denying that these interior lights make a dramatic difference. Look at that one compared to that one. Up front, you've already seen, but all the way back here, you can tell the massive difference. Let's look at the doors. Look how bright white those are. Casting really nice light. The light underneath where your feet go, bright and white. As compared to over here on the passenger side where we didn't change out the lights. Dull, kind of dark colored. And you can barely even tell that there's a light underneath the glove box there because we didn't change it out. So definitely the interior lights are a total win. Can you tell I'm disappointed? So let's sum everything up. The headlamps, they look good, except they're not the headlamps, they're the high beams. But when you go on the website, they say they're the regular headlamps. So we went through all that installation for the high beams, which you don't use very often. Now when you need them, those look really bright white. So I am going to install the other one over here, and I'm grateful to have them. Fog lamps looked really good. They didn't seem to emit as much light as the traditional one, but that's probably the point when you're in foggy conditions or dusty conditions. So I'm gonna keep them and probably convert the other one because I think they look really nice. Unfortunately, these brake lights, they don't work at all. They're the wrong type of bulbs. They are listed as being turn signal, brake light, reverse light, tail light, interior light. But I couldn't get them to work on anything in the back of the vehicle. So that's disappointing. These little barrel lights that are supposed to be for the interior, I couldn't find a single spot inside the vehicle that uses these. So the website is inaccurate. If you know where barrel type lights like these go on the interior, please drop a comment below and let me know how I'm wrong, but I couldn't find it. I would definitely say the bright spot in all of this review are these interior lights, these little flat ones, which I will leave a link in the description for these and the other lights that actually worked. These are outstanding. Now, I used all but 2 that came in this 10-pack for half of the interior, so I'm gonna order another set and convert the other side over. They're that good. Speaking of that good, I wanna thank AUXBEAM for reaching out and sending me these lights. I think the lights themselves are very high quality and I am happy to have them in my vehicle. I think the overarching problem in this review is their website. It is inaccurate. So hopefully they can make some adjustments or reach out to me and tell me how I was wrong, and I'll let you know about that in the next episode. Speaking of the next episode, I have had a company reach out to me that has an OBD reader specifically for Land Rovers. It is 60% less than the $500 Gap ID tool that we've been using throughout this build series. If it has the same functionality as the Gap ID tool for only $200, I really want to tell you about it and sing its praises, but we're gonna find out if it's as good as they claim in the next video. Until then, thank you for watching. So I wanted to give you an update on this grill from episode 15 where we took it off to polish both of the headlamps and restore them. So in that episode we found that up here the grill was actually broken away from this piece and needs to be epoxied, and that both of these lower mounting clips, as you can see here, were broken. And thanks to Tian and Johnny, who both reached out in the comment section and said that this grill looked like it came from powerfuluk.com. I reached out to them and sure enough, they were able to send me 2 pairs of replacement clips. I wanted 2 pairs in case they break again, I'll have them. And it cost me 20 British pounds with shipping included. So you can see right here that these are going to be an exact match. So thank you so much to Tian and Johnny and everybody that comments on the videos. It's very helpful.